What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown, and if you're new here, welcome. So, there's been some Falcons fans saying that running back is a huge issue for the Atlanta Falcons and that they need to draft one right away. And I obviously thought I should give out my thoughts on this. First off, I don't blame you for thinking this. The running game has been an issue for a while now. We were saying the running game sucked ever since the 2018 season, so things definitely need to be changed. Now, can you blame some of this on the O-line? Yeah, but at the same time, O-line should not be the big excuse here. Take a look at this. First off, all credit goes to Mad Mike on this stat right here. I did not find this myself, and I truly hope I'm not looking at this the wrong way, but this shows that even in 2016, the Super Bowl run, our O-line was never this unbreakable wall like everyone thought. But yet, everyone was talking about the dynamic duo with Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. Point is, O-line should not be the big excuse here if we could run the ball, even with a bad O-line. Now, obviously not in recent years, even if we kept Devontae Freeman, the star running back, right? Well, Falcons fans, I think we all can agree that Devontae Freeman has not been the same ever since 2016. And Tevin Coleman is running in San Francisco now. Ito Smith and Quadra Ellison are fine replacements. I do like those players, but being brutally honest here, they're not going to change the running game a whole lot. Not on Dirk Cutter's offense, at least. So, with that being said, should the Atlanta Falcons draft a running back in 2020? To me, yes, but not early in the draft. Grabbing Jonathan Taylor or DeAndre Swift would be great, but first off, running back is not our biggest focus right now. To me, it's on pass rush. And two, running backs don't last long in the NFL anyway. Why waste a high pick on one of them? There's probably going to be lots of running backs waited to be drafted in the late rounds of the draft. This is when the Falcons should grab one. As to who they should grab, not sure yet. I haven't looked into the draft at all, to be honest, but the Falcons should try and find a good replacement for Devontae Freeman. Now, the scary thing is, our pick could be a bust right away. Dirk Cutter, who I don't for the life of me understand how he kept his job in Atlanta, does not know how to run the ball. And he has had this problem ever since he was the head coach for the Bucs. Everyone thought, oh, the Bucs have a great offense, but they just need to find a better running back. No, the Bucs have an excellent offense. And even when he went to the Falcons have an excellent offense. They have Devontae Freeman at running back. But Dirk Cutter could not find a way to run the ball. Let's pick up a solid replacement for Freeman and hope that he thrives under Cutter's offense, I should say. And same to our other running backs we have. And if they don't thrive, it kind of sounds like our running game could be kind of fucked in 2020, but let's hope it's not. So kind of a short topic, but I'm glad I could kind of give up my thoughts on that. And let me know if you guys agree with that. But now it's time to answer your guys' mailbag questions. Sorry I missed last Tuesday. Things just kind of got in the way, but I'm back. And let's just answer the mailbag questions I have right now. Starting with Big MMW Low Key. How long have you been a Falcons fan? Hashtag rise up. This might and might not come to a surprise to you, but I have not been a Falcons fan for as long as you might think. I've been a Falcons fan since 2015. Rayan Suisi asked, who should we draft? Like I said earlier, man, I have no idea. I have not looked into the draft at all, but I might make a video on that soon since the Falcons are in the offseason, and quite frankly, I wanted to wait for the Saints to lose in the playoffs so I could stop freaking out about it, and I did get my wish. And so now that I got my wish, I'm like, all right, I got my wish. Now let's get back to work. Now I don't have to stay up all night hoping the Saints don't win or anything. I got the wish. Now let's look at the draft. Ghost Peppers asked, Dan Quinn said he felt they missed the mark in the run game for the second season in a row. Ironically, that's what we talked about. But based upon those statements, it's obvious Quinn knew this was an issue last season, but failed to proactively address and continued it majority of the season. To make matters worse, Knowing these ongoing running game woes, Quinn decides to anoint Dirk Cutter as offensive coordinator again. Why? So basically, why are we keeping Dirk Cutter? And you know what, Ghost Peppers? I don't know. I don't know what they saw in Dirk Cutter. There was so many complaints in Dirk. There were complaints on Thomas Dimitroff and Dan Quinn, but you could see the team fighting for them a little bit, and that's why they stayed. But what part of Dirk Cutter was the team fighting for? Like, that was not Dirk Cutter's offense saving Dan Quinn's future. That was the team playing at their best. There was no part of Dirk Cutter that had to do with us going 6-2 at the end of the season. So, I don't know, man. Why? I don't know why you would keep Dirk Cutter. That is the most, I'm going to say, that is the most idiotic move I have seen the Falcons make since the Super Bowl run when we released Kyle Shanahan. I thought releasing Kyle Shanahan was kind of a mistake. But keeping Dirk Cutter offensive coordinator, that is an idiotic move, and it's making me really angry, so let's move on. Okay, so this is from a Panthers fan, but the only reason I added it is because it's kind of a question in our favor, I guess you could say. How come you guys spank us every year? Because, why do we spank you guys every year? Like, the Panthers have talent. It's not like the Panthers don't have talent. The Falcons don't outweigh them. Now, do I think the Falcons are a better roster than the Panthers? I'm not being biased. I just really do think the Falcons have a better roster than the Panthers. But the Panthers shouldn't always be spanked like this. So, quite frankly, dude, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know, man. But I'm not complaining. Atlanta Falcons ask, you think we're going to sweep the Aints twice this year? That's kind of a stretch to sweep the Saints, but it's all possible. Zachary Stone asks, is Austin Hooper the most underrated player in the league? I don't know about the most underrated player, but he's definitely up there. He definitely doesn't get as much attention. Now, I will admit I was wrong on Austin Hooper. I always thought Austin Hooper was just kind of an average tight end. You don't really know what to make of him. But every year he gets better, and he seemed to be one of Matt Ryan's favorite targets this year. So he definitely is underrated, and he proved me wrong, and I will apologize for being low on Austin Hooper. Now, is Austin Hooper ever going to be Rob Gronkowski or anything? No, not at all. But I do think Austin Hooper is a good tight end, and he is an underrated player in this league. Now, is he the most underrated? I don't know about that one. Devin Perez asks, which player on the Falcons do you look up to most? That's a good question, actually. I used to look, the sad thing is that Devontae Freeman was always my favorite player on the Falcons. I just kind of liked his story, how he wanted to be a proven running back, and he did so in 2015, and now he's the starter. But he was also a good guy off the field. But who else is a good inspiration? Julio Jones, obviously. Matt Ryan, I mean, if you stay on the team for 12 years, that's a pretty good inspiration in Matt Ryan. I don't know. I guess I'll still say Devontae Freeman, even though he hasn't really been the same. But I do kind of I don't know. I don't know. He just kind of grew on me ever since 2015, even though I think it's time to release him. I hope that's a good answer, but I do look up to Devontae Freeman, even if I kind of think his time is up. Nicholas Coton asks, can you predict the Falcons' record in 2020? Well, I'll just say this right now. I don't think it's all that good in 2020. I think we're probably going to go 7-9 again, simply because we're keeping Dan Quinn. But hopefully, best case scenario, maybe 10-6 to 9-7. Worst case scenario, you would think the worst case scenario is 5-11 or something, simply because we started 1-7 this year. But we always finish strong, like we always do, because it's Dan Quinn. So worst case scenario, I guess 7-9. Trey Lee asks, trade Keanu for an offensive lineman because there is no one on our secondary that he could replace, and he can't play box or nickel. That's a pretty good statement you made. We could definitely trade Keanu Neal for an offensive lineman because the Falcons' offensive line is definitely a big, big issue. Now, are the Falcons going to release Keanu Neal? No, not at all. But I would put it into consideration. Now, it's not just offensive linemen we need help with. We also kind of need help with another safety, so I would not mind getting rid of Keanu Neal, even though he's a fun player to watch when healthy. But I wouldn't really mind trading him for an offensive lineman, even though I don't think the Falcons are going to do that. Andy Azurdia asks, do you think we'll be able to win the division next year? Yeah, man. I don't know about win the division. I will say the Saints, like, maybe this is wishful thinking. They could decline because maybe this third loss in a row in the playoffs will get to their head, but I also said that last year. I said that this loss would get to their head, but they were just fine. So I don't know about win the division, but let's hope they do. I definitely think we could be better than 7-9 if that's anything. Lil Bally asks, any people specifically you like in free agency this offseason? For example, I really like Derrick Henry and would love him for 2 years with us. That's a good idea. And establish a run game. Maybe even Melvin Gordon could come instead. That's a great point. Now, will all of that happen? No, not at all. The Falcons, admittedly, are not aggressive in free agency. And is there anyone I'm looking at in free agency? Not at the moment, to be honest. But I might, I think that could be a new video coming up soon. Who should the Falcons get in free agency? I think that's what all Falcons fans are wanting to know anyway. So, I don't have an answer as of now, but I might make a video on that later on. Dominic Roseberry asks, 1. If Falcons draft defense, who would you like to have? Derek Brown or AJ Epinesa? I haven't really looked at the draft, but I would rather go with Derek Brown. Can I be honest? Could it just be SEC biasy? Maybe. But I mean, come on, man. Like, a player from Auburn compared to Iowa, who do you think is going to succeed? Like, obviously a player from the SEC I think is going to be a better fit. Now, I'm not saying anyone that plays in freaking Iowa is not going to succeed in the NFL, but I'm just saying it's a little more likely that a player from Auburn is going to succeed more than Iowa. And the second question is, if Kyle Shanahan was released by the 49ers and Kroll's back here, would you hire him? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. And you know what? What's weird is that I'm not even totally mad he's doing good with the 49ers simply because I kind of predicted it to happen. Now, I'm not saying anyone was crazy for thinking the 49ers were going to suck this year, but at the same time, I would be kind of mad if Kyle Shanahan gets his ring and I'm like, oh, you could have done that with the Falcons, but okay, dude. Rise Up ATL asks, not Falcons related, but who is your pick for the Super Bowl? Mine, well, I can tell you it's not the Aints. Well, you got that right. It is Baltimore. Honestly, that's kind of my prediction too. We can safely say it's not the Patriots. We can safely say it's not the Saints. It's honestly probably going to be the Ravens and 49ers, and the Ravens win it all. That's what it's looking like it's going to happen, and I will predict that at the moment. I don't think the Packers will. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I mean, you never know, but I wouldn't count on it. But don't sleep on the Chiefs, though. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. They could definitely win the Super Bowl this year. Don't sleep on them. But I will pick the Ravens for now. But that's all I have. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys agree with my take. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll see you guys this Friday with a new video at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. As always, rise up.